Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanishalaakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. In this session, we will be discussing from two verses, 40 and 41 of the 17th chapter of the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. The 40th verse is as follows. Amuni panchasthanani hyadharma prabhava kalihi auttareyena dattani nyavasat tannideshakrit. So the meaning of this 40th verse is, thus the personality of Kali, by the directions of Maharaj Parikshit, the son of Uttara, was allowed to live in those 5 places. So what are the 5 places? The 4 places where the 4 sinful activities, gambling, drinking, prostitution, animal slaughter. These 4 places, and the 5th place is where gold is accumulated for non-devotional purposes. So, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, thus the age of Kali began with gold standardization, and therefore falsity, intoxication, animal slaughter and prostitution are rampant all over the world, and the saner section is eager to drive out corruption. You see, because in Kali Yuga there is so much of wealth accumulated for sense gratification. Therefore, there is in Kali Yuga so much of falsity, intoxication, animal slaughter and prostitution. Falsity is basically different forms of cheating by gambling. Intoxication, all descriptions of intoxicants, tobacco, or that is whether they are consuming tobacco as gutka, or they are smoking tobacco, or they are distilling tobacco, whatever ways they want to indulge in intoxication. Animal slaughter, killing of animals for flesh, meat eating. So many millions and billions of animals are killed. So much animal slaughter is going on. And prostitution. Prostitution is any sexual contact with women outside of the religious principles. Religious principles allow sex only for the sake of producing good progeny. Dharma aviruddha bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. In the Bhagavad Gita it's very clear. Sex life is meant for producing Krishna conscious children, good population. Otherwise, if the religious principles are not followed, then the result of illicit sex is Varna Sankara population. Varna Sankara population. The population generated by illicit connection with women becomes corrupted, becomes criminal minded. So we can see how the number of people who are not following the religious principles is increasing as Kali Yuga progresses. and there is so much of indulgence in intoxication, meat eating, gambling, illicit sex, so much. And there are sane people, there are sober people who want to drive away corruption. But Prabhupada says the counteracting process for these four sinful activities is already suggested by Prabhupada in the purport to 38th verse and the 39th verse. So 38th verse Prabhupada suggested 2 compulsory days of fasting, observing Ekadashi Vrata, and then compulsory marriage for those who want to associate with a member of the opposite sex. Then citizens of state must give in charity up to 50% of their income for the propagation of Bhagavata Dharma, and the 5 ways in which Bhagavata Dharma should be propagated in the state. All these recommendations are meant for actually counteracting the evil influence of Kali in this Kali Yuga. And Prabhupada says everyone can take advantage of these suggestions. Then in the 41st verse, Athaitani na seveta bubhushuhu purusha kvachit visheshato dharmashilo raja lokapatir guruhu. The meaning of this 41st verse is, therefore whoever desires progressive well-being, especially kings, religionists, public leaders, brahmanas and sannyasis, should never come in contact with the above mentioned 4 irreligious principles. So Bhagavatam recommends specially 4 or 5 categories of persons. Kings means the rulers, the executive heads of the government. Religionists, those who preach religious principles, priests and propagators of religion. Public leaders, all descriptions of public leaders. Brahmanas and sannyasis. In the Vedic culture, the Brahmanas are, Prabhupada explains that in the purport. I'll read the purport. We will understand who are being mentioned as Brahmanas and sannyasis. These categories of persons in the society should never come in contact with the 4 religious principles: gambling, illicit sex, intoxication and meat eating. They should never come in touch with these 4. They should be completely free from these 4 sinful habits. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, the Brahmanas are the religious preceptors for all other castes. In the Varnashrama system, there are 4 social divisions: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So of these 4 divisions, the division of Brahmanas, they are the spiritual teachers for the Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras. And the sannyasis are spiritual masters for all castes and orders of society. The sannyasis are among the Brahmanas, those who are in the renounced order, those who are renunciants. They are completely detached from all material connections. So sannyasis are the spiritual masters even of the Brahmanas. So sannyasis are spiritual masters for everyone. So Brahmanas and sannyasis are clarified who are meant by Brahmanas and sannyasis. So also are the king and the public leaders who are responsible for the material welfare of all people. The king. King means the executive head of state. Of course, now there is no monarchy in most countries, but in place of the king, there is the president or the prime minister or the governor, whatever be the designation, the executive head of state in the government. So they should be responsible for the material welfare of the people. So, particularly, Prabhupada says, not only material welfare. It is said here by Prabhupada, the progressive religionists and those who are responsible human beings, or those who do not want to spoil their valuable human lives, should refrain from all principles of irreligiosity, especially illicit connection with women. Among the 4 sinful activities, illicit connection with women is particularly to be refrained by the sannyasis. And a Brahmana, specially, he should be truthful. So if a Brahmana is not truthful, all his claims as a Brahmana at once becomes null and void. So Brahmana should be truthful under all circumstances. Never should a Brahmana tell lies. And a sannyasi should particularly avoid illicit connection with women. If a sannyasi is having illicit connection with women, immediately all his claims as a sannyasi at once becomes false. So these are injunctions in the Vedic literature. Particularly, of course, it doesn't mean others can have illicit connection with women, no. But particularly the sannyasi should never have any, forget about illicit sex, sannyasi should have no connection with any women at all of any kind. And Brahmana should not tell lies under any circumstances. Should never tell lies. Similarly, if the king and the public leader are unnecessarily proud or habituated to drinking and smoking, certainly they become disqualified to discharge public welfare activities. See, the public leader, in order to influence the people whom they are governing in a positive way, they should themselves have a good character. That good character means they should not be habituated to drinking or smoking. If they have such habits, then they are disqualified to be in the position of public leader. Now Prabhupada says, truthfulness is the basic principle of all religions. Any religious system somebody may follow. Somebody may claim I am Christian, somebody else may claim I am Muslim, somebody else may claim I am Hindu. Whatever be your religious affiliation, truthfulness is the basic principle. Everybody has to practice truthfulness. So, Prabhupada says, the 4 leaders of the human society, namely the sannyasis, the brahmanas, the king and the public leader, must be tested crucially by their character and qualification. Character is very important. What are their qualities by which they are holding that position in society as a brahmana, as a king or public leader, or as a sannyasi? So before one can be accepted as a spiritual or material master of society, he must be tested by the above mentioned criteria of character. So, material masters are the public leaders, and the spiritual master is one who is guiding in spiritual affairs, the society, the members of the society. So, both of them should be actually qualified before they occupy the position of a spiritual leader or a material leader. Such public leaders may be less qualified in terms of academic qualifications, but it is necessary primarily that they be free from the contamination of 4 disqualifications, namely gambling, drinking, prostitution and animal slaughter. That means in the society, people in general should avoid these 4 sinful activities: gambling, drinking, prostitution, animal slaughter. And particularly the leaders The material leaders and the spiritual leaders should totally avoid these four activities, sinful activities. Then only there will be no corruption in the state, and people will be able to live peacefully, happily, and nicely in such a state. But if these four activities are indulged in, especially if they are indulged in by the leaders, then this state is completely corrupt state. So that is being explained here. I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.